Sketchbooks, they're fantastic, they're amazing. You know what's even better? When you have something that tells you what to draw. Commissioners or a book like this, 200 drawing prompt. So if you don't know, my name is Agent Double Sonic. I have a few channels, one of them being my channel that my shorts live on. There I decided to take upon me and make 200 drawing prompts for that channel. We have reached day 100 at the time of this recording. So all right there is 100 drawings and paintings. So I decided to show y'all on this channel all 100 drawings, review, compilation, everything go from there. My thoughts, and something I haven't done on the other channel is actually how many of them are drawings, how many of them are paintings, how many of them are ink, how many of them are color pencil, how many of them are gouache, so on and so forth. So hopefully you enjoy. Now let's go ahead and get started on these 100 drawing paintings. Let's get started. So I know people want a flit through. It's difficult because a lot of these pages weren't meant for what I did to it. Okay, so I guess I kind of look at this. This poor book probably did not think it was gonna get stuck in my hands and get this beat up. For day 1, angel wings, I thought of Icarus flying too close to the sun, and so that's where the inspiration came from. It was graphite, ink, it went from there. Day 2, Dr. Seuss. I drew myself as a Dr. Seuss character. This was actually ink and marker. Not too bad if I do say so myself. And then I did my reflection for day 3, and I took a picture of a mirror, myself in a mirror, and the book. Not too bad. I'm still trying to figure out my style, but I think throughout this process I actually was learning quite a bit about it. So very young in this book, and it's just crazy looking back at it now. When I created this piece, I don't know if I have my dates actually. This piece was posted on my shorts channel, description, April 10th, 2024. So almost 2 years ago I did this. Wow. Huh. Go figure. Wow. All right. Asteroids was for day, I gotta keep tracking. It's gonna be kind of a challenge because I didn't number these. 1, 2, 3. Day 4 for asteroids. I drew asteroid from the Jetsons above an asteroid. I just thought that was tongue-in-cheek. And these two, this spread right here, being the Milky Way, like this entire setup right here on this camera frame with all the space stuff, and then the moon, of course, right here, phenomenal. I liked it. This is all pure paint. I really like this one. Probably could have did more with it, but I don't even think this is exactly what the Milky Way looks like. I just kind of want to create some sort of space thing. Goober gifted me, Granzy actually, gifted me these acrylic shuttle art acrylic markers. They're off screen, but anyways, I wanted to create for this comic book cover prompt me like this. I was referring with like some of the Marvel characters and stuff like that and some older comics, and I thought the colors were well done. I wish I would have done myself a little bit different, but I have like the stamp of approval and everything like that, the cost of it, the company, and then now on print. I just thought it was really fun. My lotus flower, a lot of these I was trying to use references and kind of create my own thing. I'm not really good at drawing flowers, so that's probably something I'll do in the future, like more backgrounds, more live environments and stuff like that. So probably gonna want to do some flowers and stuff later. So this one wasn't bad. Looking at it now, I could have done a little bit more with the water, but it is what it is. Day 6. Hello everyone, Future Sean here. When I was editing, I realized a lot of the art pieces got kind of whitewashed out with the lighting. I do make a fix later, but to compensate for that, I end up putting the clips of the footage of the drawings on here as well. So some of them are going to be blocked because you really can't make them out. I do try to move it to the side. Anyways, sorry about that. Hopefully you enjoy the video, and I will see y'all later in the video. 7, oh man, Sean. 1, 3, 5, 7. Day 8, looking through a keyhole. So it's just so random, and I believe for this one I wanted to create something where you have the piece being a little bit further with the eyes, but I felt like that would have been too distracting, so I wanted to keep it close. This one, I think I even did this one in Crown. Probably, yeah, because it's rubbing off a little bit. That was okay. Tree of Life. I prepped this paper because I wanted to paint it. Didn't end up painting it, used some markers, and I overworked this piece to the nth degree. Like when I tell you, this piece here, oh man. This piece here, whew, it was good, and then I overworked it, and then it became this. And also I believe it ripped on this side, but it kind of went hand in hand with the next prompt. Something with 2 heads, and I wanted to create a 2-headed snake, which is funny because it almost split directly in the middle. But yeah, so I did the like chaotic good and chaotic neutral character. So of course like the street snake, and then the Booksmart straight snake. But this one's funny because there's a little rat in the pocket where the pen is. But then I realized, how did they get dressed? I also put like the whole they don't have arms, so they did that. And this was before Zootopia 2 was even announced, that I ended up making the snake their main body, because this is like the orange part, and then they have like the rest of their body is teal. Before the snake showed up, I had did this, and I was like, oh cool, I did it before Disney. Haha. Lightsaber. Now this is obviously bled through. I wish I would have prepped the page behind it, because this one, it's a lightsaber. Star Wars. Did not watch Star Wars until probably a year after this one, because I think this is when I started to post them a little bit more consistently. This one was January 2025. Yeah, so I think I was starting to get into the hang of make shorts and make them a little bit more consistently. So I made this. It was really cool. It just sucks that the behind on the back, the next drawing bled through. It's really good. I don't think you can see it on camera actually. Oh, I guess you kind of can. I'm gonna have to go in and, sorry, I'm also looking at all my batteries, make sure they're good. I wish I could have did this one over and tell past self from future me, hey, before you do this next one, you should probably prep the paper so it doesn't bleed through. I learned that quite a bit throughout this whole thing, but you know, it is what it is. And this was day 11. I started writing them in the corner, which kind of helps me for whenever I'm doing these kind of things, because whew. Grim Reaper, live every day, skating on a scythe. Like, how metal is that? I think that's just so cool. Okay, sorry, there was someone at the door, and obviously hence the glasses. It's gonna be cool because you're gonna see them like transition back to regular. What I suffer from is a lot of detail, which is why the next one, the Fountain of Youth, that one I used the reference of what the supposed Fountain of Youth is in St. Petersburg is what this was supposed to be. So this one was marker and ink, sketched it out with a pencil first. Wish I would have did a little more with the background, but the main focus was this Fountain of Youth that's supposed to be a thing. Man in the Moon. The only thing I could think of was when I worked at Disney and I went to Epcot a lot. There's an attraction, Figment of the Imagination, and it's with Dr. Nigel Channing, and he becomes the moon, and it's just super creepy. That's the only thing I think of. This was color pencil and marker. Next, Lightning Strike. This was my first attempt in a very long time to do a comic when I was very young, I probably, whenever I move, have to pull up all the art that I used to make when I was very young, and then I stopped for a really long time. But anyways, I remember distinctively making a cartoon very similar to Garfield, and it was a dog. So super hark back to whatever I was doing, but this was my first real attempt at doing something like that. Two cats on a fence during a thunderstorm, and one gets struck by lightning, hence lightning strike was that prompt. And yeah, I thought of the cartoon Two Stupid Dogs when this whole thing was going down, but more of a snarky, sarcastic kind of sort of situation. Goddess. Okay. This is my beautiful fiance, and I did not do her justice at all. I wanted to create her as a goddess because that's what she is to me. I did this with watercolor. Again, this is not a mixed media, first and foremost. This is meant to be a pure drawing book. I just took it upon myself to just go and make it a mixed media. This one was watercolor, and I used these metallic watercolor paints that I got from Jennifer. I want to redo this one. I believe I even say it in the short that I did that I wanted to recreate this one, and I still have that one put on standby to this day that I want to recreate it on a proper paper with proper references and more practice. And I'm struggling between wanting to make it realistic or making a cartoon, because I lean towards more of an animation style than a realistic style. But Goddess, that's what she is, and you can't tell from the camera. Maybe, let's see. Yeah, you can. Actually, you can. The paint is so beautiful. I just want to do it again. Oh yeah, let's see. Can you see this one? You can. Psychedelic. I pull inspiration from so many different posters, and when I got to see the Beatles stuff in person and that entire time era, like this, I love this one so much. I wish I would have more confidence inking, and that's actually where I suffered. I probably should have did the colors first and then did the inking, because I do believe I did it backwards. I think I say that now, but I can't recall. Actually, let me just look at the video real quick. Okay, so I actually used the acrylic markers for this one, and I did a light pencil sketch, then I went with the markers, and then I did the inking. If you look closely, there's a face right here, and this is like her hair. I thought that was so dope. I would like to do something like this again, probably in like a more grander piece. I say that a lot, but you know, it is what it is. This, oh my goodness, okay. This is all about near real time. I think this has very minimum cuts. It's probably just going to be one super uncut video, and for that I apologize for it not being as polished. I loved this one so much. It gave me the prompt was a view from the top. It gave me so much joy creating this one, like everything including the setup. This was my studio when I did this piece. I grabbed my current phone that's filming this, put it on a tripod, like held it super high as far as the tripod can extend, and I ended up doing it as a rough outline, and then I ended up grabbing, that's right, I forgot. So I sketched out in red, and then I go in with a 0.1 micron, and I did the super rough kind of like style, and the cross hatching. I love this one so freaking much. It didn't get the day and time and light, or day and time of day. And of course, like y'all see it because it's a spread. The masquerade mask. I get why they are a thing, but with my hair, like it's obviously in braids right now, but you're not fooling anyone. I used the markers, ink, pencil, and I created this whole thing. The hand is terribly small. It looks like one of the Burger King commercial where the guy's hands like, does this burger make my hands look small? That's what happened here. And I think I did it because I did not want it to obscure the mask itself, but if I did that, I should have made everything smaller, or I should have made the hand bigger and brought it down more, but it is what it is. Detracting from that baby hand detail, overall would have been good. I could have definitely just kept it as is and took the hand off. Nothing would have been remissed. Or missed. I said remissed. Poseidon. This one did really well on my shorts channel, actually. I did it with the markers because I was just on a kick of trying to use these markers over and over. I had multiple poses I wanted to do with this one. In the end, I end up using a bust of him, and I used the markers to the nth degree. And this was not too bad. I was fearing that it would have got really muddy because I was doing too much with it, but no, it did good. It did solid. And then came the awkward part where I started getting like shadow ban, or maybe YouTube just wasn't pushing my stuff. But Jackal, admittedly, this one's not good. I suffer from the fact that I wanted to do realistic or I wanted to do cartoon, and then I try to combine the two, and that doesn't work all the time for me personally. And then this, I forgot what the technical term is, but the headdress is all wrong because I didn't know if I wanted to incorporate the ears with it, or if I wanted to go over the ears, or if I wanted to do whatever this is. All drawings are not going to be good, and this is one of those reasons. And I wanted to hark back to when I did the perspective view from above, I think it was. Yeah, a view from the top, with the whole red and black and sketchy. Didn't work. Terribly didn't work. And then I doubled down and I wanted to do it with the deer antlers, but I did not go and use the red. I wanted to create this piece. Looking at it now, I'm questioning why I did this whole shading. It took it away from the whole thing. The sketching was okay. The eyes are super huge. I don't know why I did that, but yeah. Deer antlers. It was just the antlers I had to do. Then I'm going to try to create that. So about a week or so, these shorts just tanked. And I mean like 40, 50 views tanking compared to like the 1,000 something I was getting. Medusa. I thought I killed this one. I used nothing but color pencil. I wanted to get back to my roots because that's what I started off with. I love this one so much, but no one did apparently. I thought the colors, the shading was done okay. I did some geometrical shapes behind to add some blocking and contrast to this. I probably should have kept doing the smaller ones for this. I don't know why I did that. To say less. Man. Oh yeah, we do have a few. The carousel. I don't know why I'm blocking it because y'all are going to see it regardless. The carousel. I put so much time and effort into this, and I think it was because my titles were doing terrible. Because I was putting them as I'm looking, drawing every day until I finish this book, day 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. I put so much time and effort into this one. I used a highlighter, I used a color pencil, and it was a carousel for the prompt, and then I made a snow globe. Looking at it now, I did this crooked. I did this side a little too low. If I would have made it more bowl shape and add a little bit more, I could get away with it, but no. And then I thought about making like the background darker so that way these would be more lit, but I used very minimum colors for that, and that was my fault. Voodoo, drawing myself as Voodoo doll, I thought I did phenomenal. Of course, everyone's gonna think that like, oh, I thought I did good myself, but this one I paid homage to the Sackboy from Little Big Planet with the aesthetic, and then I thought of the movie 9, so I combined like those two kind of sort of things, and yeah, made this. And it was me as a voodoo doll because I thought of Scooby-Doo and Zombie Island, where, well, no spoilers, but there was like voodoo dolls as some of the characters. Yeah. Tiki Idol. I did too much with it. I overworked it. It was good in the beginning, then I made too many colors. I added too many things. This is color pencil and ink. Looking at it now, ooh, this is rough. This is real rough. Could have done better on that. Sugar Skull, my goodness gracious. I think this is the time where I discovered the natural habitat shorts, where they would do like the title of them would be like the fact of it, but a difference between them and me, they have significantly more skills in their content, and it's very well polished. I titled this one something about I think sugar skulls are commonly given as treats or something like that. I love this one so much because, again, I'm not good at detail, so whenever I do create something with detail, I'm just over the moon with it. But looking at it now, I try to do it in half, and I know some things didn't line up. Like, it's not the same amount of rows or petals here. These aren't the same. Some other aspects don't line up. Like, these are different. I think I tried to do the teeth and everything. This is obviously a little, like, lopsided. Same with this. And, even the nose, like the right symptom is a little bit smaller. Oh well, we live and learn. But this was good. I did this with the paint markers too, if I remember correctly. Yes, I did. And now for number 28, something abstract. So I actually did this short, and then I ended up creating a piece for my good homie, one of my best friends, David, as a piece. And I did a whole lo-fi video of me from beginning to end on this piece. That's going to be in here, if I believe I did that correctly. This piece, it was nice to do something abstract, and it was going with whatever was going on around the time. Like, I have my hands, pencils, and everything. I'm hearing everything, but not hearing anything at the same time. It's whatever you take it as, and of course my foot, because crazy enough, I'm still going through it. I had injured my foot back in like December of 2024. We're still going through it, which is the crazy part, but that's a whole different story for a whole other time. That impacts a whole bunch of things that are going on. Anyways, and that one did terrible. And then I guess we got back in the algorithm for this. This was Aladdin's lamp. I won't lie to y'all, I did not think I did well on this one, but the algorithm and everyone else that I did phenomenal on it. I redid this one so much that the paper actually started to get worn out, so I had one more shot to prep it and then go at it. And I think actually it's ripped. Yes, it is right there. That doesn't tell you nothing. And I think this is also the part where things start getting stuck together. And because it did so well, I decided I wanted to keep painting. So then I did this one where it's a tooth fairy, and I thought of kind of harking to Fairly Odd Parents, where Timmy's like aged and he's older and it's not what he is, but then also with the tooth fairy not being like the tooth fairy, but like an older guy. And I think because I was watching Sopranos as well, I was pulling inspirations and stuff like that to make the tooth fairy like this very rugged gentleman that's done with business and just wants to get stuff done. He's smoking a cigarette. He has a chain of a tooth on it. He has a wristwatch, and he's like a huge tooth fairy, and he says like, hurries up kid, I ain't got all day. I said I wanted to paint, and I ended up doing this one, I think in marker and color pencil. I don't know, it was a weird time. And then this was, I think, blueprints. Yeah, blueprints was the prompt for this one, and I ended up doing this one for paint, and then I end up using a color pencil, a gel pen to create it. Some of the details got lost though because I didn't let it dry. It said like Agent Double Sonic, and then I won't lie to you, this is hair, like things that made up me, but this one should have done significantly better, and I didn't do it at all, and that's my fault. So then I said, let's go ahead and take a break, and I went to create this cyborg here. And of course, you know, cyborg, I just thought of Cyborg from Teen Titans. Not bad. I definitely was just trying to get back on it. And totem pole. So I did a lot of history research for this one. This one I ended up using the paint markers. I was really into doing the paint markers at the time because I just wanted to use them enough to start getting used to it and see if I can create something with it. This one was a lot. I think this was like at the time one of my longest pieces I made because I ended up sketching it out, and I mean there was a lot of detail, and I don't usually do a lot of detail, and then I went in and I made layers and stuff like that. I should have done a thinner inking because I think I ended up messing up a few times and I have to go in and try to rectify it. Doesn't really work well. Yes. And then after doing that detail one, I made Magic Kingdom. I remember back in 2023 when I flipped through this book, very briefly. I saw Magic Kingdom and I said, bet I'm gonna love doing that one because again, I used to work for Disney. Used to work at Magic Kingdom. This one held near and dear to my heart. This one was so well done. I think I actually sprayed a fixative on it to keep it preserved. And so I have this tissue. Did that, loved it. And then I got a little bit of paint and I put it for the balloons. If I were to redo this one again, I probably would have done a little bit more. Actually, no, it's good where it's at. But the downside is when I didn't know what to draw for a beach scene, and this one literally took me less than like 3 minutes. I sketched it out, then I used the color pencil because I just did not want to put too much time into it because I was frustrated, didn't like it, and I could have did more. I definitely could have used probably at this point the markers because I would have done a little bit more cell shaded and more bold statements for it. I probably could have did just a regular beach scene. Looking at it now, I would do something completely different. I wouldn't do this. This is but I probably would have did more of a plain one where it's like the ocean's at the bottom and the beach is coming up. I can think of when I went to Daytona Beach. That's what I probably would have did. Pac-Man video game. It's crazy that there's a couple IPs in this book, all things considering, but I ended up using oil pastel, and because I was like, oh, this has like kind of a retro vibe to it. So I ended up doing this. These empty spots here are actually my clips, like this, that I just hold down whenever I'm working on these. This one was cool. It was more of a minimalistic, like, okay, you know what this is. You should recognize some of these things if you've played it or know of it. Pac-Man. And then I end up doing your zodiac sign. Mine is an Aquarius. And I changed this so many times. I was going to do just the constellation, and then I was going to make the the Aquarius symbol, and then I decided to cross the two, and I did it as oil pastel, and this one also did better than what I thought, but I didn't do well, and I was like, it is what it is. Day 38, something 3D. My friend Sue Jenna sent me some 3D glasses, and I was trying to make a whole video of it to create like the 3D effect. Then I unfortunately realized that I can't really pull the 3D effect off for the viewer because I would hold the blue and red and blue, sorry, and then I would hold it up, but then it wouldn't show up right. So I ended up doing this, ended up doing the lines and stuff, and I loved it. I have no words for this one. Like, it was something 3D, made it, and it became something 3D. Okay. Anaconda. So when I made this one February 12th, 2025, based upon Anaconda the movie, and I love that movie because it terrified me when I was growing up. This was before the Jack Black and Paul Rudd movie came out, and I spent so long on this, and this video did not well at all. But if I were to redo it, I probably would have did the background with paint and then prep the surface to do it because the blacks are all kind of streaks. I thought it was good, but I think I was just trying to mix too many mediums and do too many things at once. And it's funny because this is before Stranger Things got announced, actually, for season 5. And I did this interpretation of it where the ones that were affected by the upside down and the ones that were upside down related, something upside down. I think I even drew Eddie Munson. Yeah, Eddie Munson. And a few other characters. These are the main characters. They're like super terribly done. I wish I would have spent more time try to make it a little bit better because as of right now, it's like, wow, these kind of aren't that good. And, ooh, my bad, y'all. Didn't realize that got shifted that far. Computer from the future. I just had my hand, thought about that they'd be pretty much like quarter size, coin size, and they'd be your phone integrated with like watches or human. Color pencil and yeah, graphite. Bada bing, bada boom. Bright idea. This one was graphite and I believe the paint markers again. And then I said I should draw more for my idea. And that's not a bad idea. Grand Canyon, I ended up ripping the page because I think it got stuck on something and I ended up taping it. This one is more of it's not good. It's not good at all. I could have did better. Should have did better. Should have drawn something else. Probably should have drawn like when they were in the canyon of the Grand Canyon versus this over the top view and whatever this is. This is more of a, you squint your eye and you're like, oh, I guess I could see that if you had the title at the bottom. Otherwise, you're just like, you could have did better, Sonny. You could have did better. Then I switched to my inking phase, and I want to create everything with ink. We have a lion, and I cross-hatched and did a weird background thing for it, and it was a choice. I don't know what was going on here. I think I wanted to detach from the details, and then I tried to do stippling. Yeah, I don't know why I was doing all these things. Yeah, lion. Mad Hatter. Well, it's me as Mad Hatter. Proportions are super off. The hat also just kind of like tapers back instead of going back out. I had made that hat come out this way, but I just felt like it was going to be wrong, and I should have done a reference. I definitely should have used a reference, but I just try to pull from my head like, oh, well, maybe if I know this, then it'll be like that, and go from there. And that's day 45. Pencil, ink. Yeah. Some things were good, a lot of things were not. Football. So this is on the precipice of the 2025. I'm pretty sure, yeah, 2025 Super Bowl. February 27, 2025. Yeah. So the commercial had came out, and it was Patrick Stewart with Hey Arnold. I think it was like Paramount commercial, where, you know, they throw the football. That's my inspiration for it. Look at it now. Dear God, I did terrible at this. Like, what throws me off is how off this is. Like, this is his body here, and everything was supposed to literally shift over. Like, his waist gets detached and goes over here. If you look at it, everything should have been over like this. Like, this should have been over more. Probably about half an inch over, and it would have made more sense. I threw it on the side, and that was bad. That was so bad. I was like, ooh. Then the one that blew up was my dollar bill, because I think I titled it like me make my own currency or something like that. Where's that? Created my own currency, yeah. And yeah, it just blew up. And all it is a dollar bill that I had traced over, and then I ended up using it as reference, and I just drew all my stuff, all the things that would be on a dollar bill, but just with my fun little Easter eggs and numbers and signatures, and yeah. For my 50th, actually, almost messed up. Day 48 and 49, koala, hummingbird. We're in like an animal phase right now, I guess. I don't know how these prompts were generated, but animals just showed up. Koala bear, graphite pencil, ink, did that cross-hatching thing, did okay, and then I did hummingbirds. And I ended up doing color pencil, some marker, graphite, and ink. Got this hummingbird. Probably should have colored that flower, and I actually don't think hummingbirds whistle, so I don't know why I put those notes there, now that I think about it. I said whistle. I probably should have said sing. I don't know why I did that. Anyways, we reached day 50, so we're technically halfway through. So thank you for watching this chunk massiveness. I thought about splitting this into 2 videos, but then I was like, no, we'll just do all 100 now, because... Okay, so for day 50, we have reached a quarter way of the whole book, halfway for this video. Here is woolly mammoth and giraffe. These is such a beautiful spread. I was doing colored pencil, inking. This one I pulled out the markers, did graphite marker for this, and I love these so much. And I think these actually did solid. Yeah, this one did amazing. And then this one flopped on YouTube, but on TikTok it did well. I don't know, algorithms are weird. Like, I mean, polar opposites. This one got almost 1,000 views, and then this one got like 27. I don't know why or what happened, but yeah, it just completely flopped. And then I wanted to kind of go back to doing like simplistic, give homage to comics and stuff like that. So I did Wishing Well, Yeah, we're still good. I did Wishing Well, and I did very, very, very small details on this one. I like sketched it out and everything. I did wishes, and then I was thinking of Mac Miller reference where it says, "Change is more appealing than pennies inside of a well." And then I did Bullseye, and I thought of Meredith from Disney Pixar Brave. And yeah, I did this whole thing where the bows are here and the sun is setting, and yeah, there's that bullseye with the bullseye already shot through it. Day 53. And this one is actually a bouquet of roses. I almost said flowers for some reason. I redid this one so many times, and I stopped naming the shorts like drawing every day in this book until it's complete or whatever. I started doing like little quotes, and I got that from Jordan the Stallion 8, because he was like listing things, and I thought it would give a little more authenticity. Also, I only did one hashtag, and then I think I started recently doing like the max, which I think was 3, then they bumped it up to 5. But anyways, for this piece, I end up painting. I think I ended up doing a drawing, then I ended up not liking it. I laid down that medium, not even to the whole thing. I think I was just over how many times I redid this one because the paper was starting to give. So I ended up just doing this kind of comic-esque, like inking and everything like that. I got the pens and I just did a quick little doodle-loop. Simple, but the point was done and got across. That was day 54, 46 more, and then we will be done. I'm going to try to get this back half done in less time than the first half did, but this is still a long video, and I think this is going to be actively my longest video. And now on to day 55. So this is the Aurora Borealis, and I loved this one. I thought it did amazing. As far as like me doing it, it didn't do well video wise, but I could have done better on this. What sucks is that this happened, like the paper didn't take off from this, and yeah, I do like the fact I keep this exposed. I know people get kind of annoyed that the piece isn't complete with it, but I mean, it's an original. What can I say? The mountains were done well. I should have did the night sky a little less Aurora Borealis-y, but from far away, like from this camera. Hello, I'm back again. This is where I found out about the camera lighting being all over the place, so I fixed it. There we go. On camera, it definitely does not look like it is blue, but it's blue and black. Oh yeah, that bothers me so much more than it should. Man, it's been a while since I've done a video. Yeah. This one probably isn't gonna do that well considering the length of this video, and it's the outlier to my entire everything. Anyways, that was a random rant. That was day 55, Aurora Borealis. I continued doing the whole inking segment. Like I was trying to capture that essence that I had when I did the perspective for the room. Let's see, actually. This one right here, view from the top. I was trying to capture that same essence with these next few ones, but I think the issue was that they are so simple, like Boombox and Ticket Stub. This one, I, for some reason, wanted to draw some ice, like dancing, like Boombox, because I just thought that was cool. I think I got, inspiration from, like, New York. These are technically called ghetto blasters, boomboxes, loudspeakers, for terminology, for that time frame. And then I thought of like New York rats, and then like the big cheese, like mice. Weird correlation. Ticket Stub, it was alright. I lost the footage for this one. Some of them I've lost footage, and I think it's just because I do a lot of recording and saving, and I just have too many things going on. But anyways, I did that one, and then I looked and I realized like holding the Ticket Stub, I tried to do this and I messed up. I think this was supposed to be like a knuckle bending down. I think that's what it was supposed to be, but I just messed up the rough sketch. If you see right here compared to that, not my favorite. And then here comes the Mac Miller page spread. The 58, 59 were the days, and the prompts were Captain Hat and something nautical. So this is a scene from Mac Miller's music video Rap Diablo teaser, although it was called Diablo and it's from Faces. he had the captain hat on, and this is like trying to be like an abstract slash not one-to-one realistic, on top of the food truck, and then the crowd. But anyways, I did that. I wish I would have done his face different. It doesn't look like him except for the beard, and then the skin I did yellow, but I was trying to do orange, and I think because of the scene that I had referenced had a different sort of vibe to it, different lighting. I wish I could have did this better. I wish I would have did it a little bit better. Mouth is terrible, and the hand, because it was moving, so it was kind of blurred. I should have just did that a little bit more, but the point got across. It didn't do well on any social medias for obvious reason, but then something nautical like the diver did better than I thought it was going to, I think on YouTube and Instagram. So that was good. This one I could have done more for the background, but I don't think I prepped this paper. Did I? This one was prepped. This one was not, and I just went for it. Now, if I recall correctly, I started these, I think March of last year, and then I kind of went from there. Yeah, and I continued doing the inking, and I prepped these pages, but I didn't paint on them. It's funny because at the time of the recording of this current video, I had just did my day 61 to 80 for my second channel, the H and Double Sonic Shorts. So I have to think about what I said, but it's going to be something different. So if you want my completely different thoughts for these next 20, you can go watch the video, and hopefully I can get this edited and uploaded in time for me to do the 100th one video for that channel, so everything kind of comes together. Serendipitous, and copacetic. Anyways, banjo, bowling alley, and pins. This one I was trying my best to do like a unidentified cowboy playing the banjo on some steps. Now what I messed up, because I think I did just pure ink. Yeah, just pure ink. I should have drawn the boots a little bit more angled, more, I guess, dynamic posing for this, because he looks really stiff. The clothes are really stiff, and the banjo came across fine. I think that's what I started off with, and then everything else kind of made up. I could have did more with the porch and the house, and I think I was just trying to get it done. And unfortunately, that's what I kind of fall into a very hard cycle for some of these. The bowling alley and pins, I didn't mind doing it, but again, I think just learning how to do more dynamic, more life expressions, like the guy here. I think I'm in frame still. Yeah, okay, cool. His arm is just like up when it should definitely be like, you know, a little more. And then looking at it, I should have did more of the clothes here, and this has been at a weird angle. Anatomy, like, come on, Sean. Everything else is solid. Like, you know, you got the point across. It's some bowling alley and some pins. I should have made one of them like the actual pins, and the rest of them kind of like fade off into obscurity. I like the wall decoration though. And then I did like the little speckle pattern that you see at the bowling alley tables. So nothing too crazy. Yes. So David Bowie and Jim Henson's Labyrinth. I was watching this movie as I was doing this piece. Wait, backtrack. I looked up that movie, and then I found out that I had purchased it on DVD, and then I watched it. I watched it so I can understand the references and how it looked. Beautiful movie, very well done in my opinion. I wish I would have prepped this paper, because this paper was not prepped for painting, and I actually used my acrylic gouache for this. And then I went over with my Tomball, I think. Is it Tomball? It's one of my art markers, and I went over it. This is a truly trust the process, because this one was rough. Like, I'm looking at the short on my screen right now, and it was terrible. Like, if you look at this, you're like, So yeah, that was David Bowie. If I could do this one different, I would have done the crystal ball pure white, and then I would have did like some silver with a little bit of black to accent it instead of whatever this was. I could have done more color, but I think as far as like the face goes, the eyes were a little off. But I think it was good otherwise. I did this line here. I was trying to do like a cut with like the jawline and everything, and the dimple. It was okay. The Kraken. Okay, so this is actually one of my best performing ones. Actually, let me go ahead and tell you as of right now, popular. This is number 3 on my YouTube channel of my most popular short. It is at 2.7K. As of this, likes, there's 73. Now, this one, I liked it. I just like doing the detail I had with it. And I was going to change the captions around, like I was going to put them closer to the ship, but I felt like that would have been too busy. And it's not exactly what I was trying to go for. As far as like the Kraken goes, I had originally thought about having the Kraken wrapping around a ship. There was a reference of it. And then I was like, what if I try to do my own thing? So I ended up having the ship, you know, sailing and stuff like that. It's nighttime, so it's already dark. And I was trying to elude that with like the water. And I was trying to figure out with the minimalist amount of supplies, because I have a graphite pencil, I have my pink gel pen, and I had my, I think it was the Tomball ink. So I only had 3 things to use, 3 colors. So I was trying to figure out how I can make the most of it. So I ended up doing the scribbles for the water and the Kraken, and then I tried to make it a little rough and everything. Now, I do need to think how I would have done this differently to try to make it as dark as I could. Maybe I could have done the night with the marker, make it darker, and then use the white of the paper to maybe have like lighting on the Kraken, and then see, here comes the tricky part. And then do I make the water darker with like the black and then the graphite? I felt like that probably would have did not too well, because then the colors would have looked weird and kind of muddy. So I liked how this one came out. I could have done something different, but would I have changed this one? No. This one would have been as is. Here's another one I lost my footage to. I couldn't figure out where it went, but I lost the footage for this one. And I was doing an homage to Hercules with Panic and Pain, where it's like, wanna buy a sundial, kid? And it's the armadillo with the trench coat. I didn't know what I wanted to do with the armadillo. I thought about having the armadillo like rolling, and then I thought about the restaurant Texas Roadhouse with their mascot being the armadillo. I don't know what the armadillo's name is. I feel like it's like Andy or something like that. I could look it up, but for sake of posterity, I don't know. I'm just not looking it up right now. Actually, I lied. I really want to know what the... It is Andy. Oh, sweet. Yeah. Andy Armadillo. Holy throwback. Wow. Good recall, Sean. Good recall. That was amazing. Wow, that was actually really good. Huh. I wanted to do something different, but in the end I did that one, and this one was graphite and marker. Eiffel Tower. This one, I'm happy how it came out. This is one of the very few like background structures that I did for this one. Now, I would have liked to done it at night, but I think I was just trying to stick with the minimum amount of tools, and I think I literally only had a ballpoint pen and my marker, and hence why like the rough was this. And then I think when I was doing the actual building, I missed a stroke, and it's ink. You can't undo ink without like whiteout or something. But yeah, I did that, and kind of ended up with this. It was okay. Like, it got the point across. You know, it's the Eiffel Tower. Bada bing, bada boom. And this one was right after the Kraken piece, because since I didn't have the footage, this one was doing solid. Actually, the next few are actually doing okay, huh? Yeah. Yeah, these all do really well. I'm doing a quick scroll for y'all real quick. Yeah, all these except for the one, and we'll get to it too. Yeah, except for 2 of them. But we'll get to that when we get there. That didn't do as well as I thought they were going to. Jack in the Box and Goblet, days 66 and 67. I'm still sticking with the minimalist ink sketches and then going out with the pen. Jack in the Box, I wish I would have done a little bit different for the, I guess, part of the Jack in the Box box where the Jack in the Box sits at and pops up, the lid. I wish I would have did that a little bit better and add a little bit more detail for the background. Like, it's not bad to have like this, but I think I could have did a little bit better. But yeah, Goblet. I was trying to think of I haven't seen Game of Thrones, and for those that have seen it, I'm sorry for your dragon show. I know that's a meme, but that's pretty much all I got. I thought of the kid with the blonde hair that's like almost white haired, and the kid, no spoilers, but it's been out for how long now, the one that becomes king at the end of the show. I thought about them like cheering with whatever drinks in the goblet, and I was like, oh, bet a goblet. And I thought of Harry Potter, Goblet of Fire, which, you know, it's funny, Goblet of Fire. Anyways, whole thing. It was like a scribble scratch kind of sort of thing. I would have changed this doing like a crosshatch and probably a little bit more detail in the back. And then if I wanted to add colors, I probably would have done like the goblet being colored and then like some accents on the toaster. Day 68 and 69. Now these are funny. This one and the last two averaged about 1,000. And then this one, we'll get to it, what it did. Mutant, I wanted to draw like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles or X-Men, and it's funny because in Wikipedia, mutant, if you look it up as of, you know, 2025, late 2025, this actually shows up as a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle when you look up mutant. But then it was during the season of Simpsons with Fortnite, and I thought of the fish that has 3 eyes from the nuclear waste, and so I was like, oh, well, what if we just draw like a dog? Because my puppy, Venus, she was chilling with us. I thought she was over there. She was chilling with us, and I was like, oh yeah, bet, let me just draw a mutated puppy. So I ended up doing that, and yeah, 3 eyes, big nose, a very interesting mouth situation going on, 3 tails. Yeah, mutant. Now, Weeping Willow. This is my most viewed short. I'm pretty sure. Yes, it's tied actually with my currency. But I did this one, and the caption was, "It's a beautiful sight, not in my yard." And I realize now that I did a Spanish moss mixed with the Weeping Willows. Yeah, this one was dumb simple. I did markers and a highlighter, I'm pretty sure, and I just did it. It was interesting to learn about it, but I was just like, wow, this is the one that's doing well. Isn't it funny how that goes? Also, thank you for hanging out with me for better part of over an hour, more than likely at the time of this footage. This has been a multiple clip segments. I don't really know the pure runtime, but either way, you have been here. You're a trooper, so thank you. We have 30 more in the grand scheme of it all. Thank you. So let's go ahead, go back to this whole thing. And what's even crazier, future me, the amount of editing we're gonna have to do for this. Like on the surface level, it seems really chill, where I just put it here, but I'm gonna have to like go back and forth and make so many decisions. And I want to have this done by today. That's not happening. We're probably gonna have to have it done for Sunday. Yeah, Sunday didn't happen. Continue. Oh well. All right. Day 70 and 71. Grappling hook was this prompt, and shepherd. Make sure we're good here. Yes. Okay. So I thought of grappling hook, and I'll explain this now. This is actually from this page, if you can't tell. The surface, I did not get to prep them with matte medium or separate them. That's what happens when you are painting in a drawing book. Oops. But grappling hook, I thought of Mabel from Gravity Falls with the grappling hook, and I thought of Kim Possible, and that's where I mixed both inspirations. With the theme song of Kim Possible, and obviously she's used the grappling hook so many times, but when she like launched out and swung for the transition to the Kim Possible title card, yeah, so I was like, bet, so I'll do that. I wish I would have done more height perspective, because yeah, you see the buildings, but there's no perspective about height. Like I have the clouds and I have whatever this is. This is supposed to be a building, but you wouldn't be able to tell that. The street is right here. I should have done more of a different angle to get this point across. This one, the shepherd, I love this one. This is probably one of my favorites. It just, the job gets done. You have the shepherd with sheep and the farm in the background, and yeah, I think this one's done really well. I would have changed this and his hand, like this hook cane thing. I should have did that a little bit different. And I thought about adding like color from the sun and the sky and everything onto them, but I thought that would have been too much. But yeah, not a bad spread. Those are my nitpicks. And now, so fun story. This is day 72 and day 73. This is my country's flag. I'm from the United States of America. And on YouTube, this one, did average. It got 997, so about 1,000. And the water park, theme park, I think is actually water slide. This one got 1.4. Cool, fine, dandy. I'm used to getting about 1,000. I posted this to TikTok, and it's America, so yeah, we're kind of, yeah. Anyways, this got 48,000 views. When I tell you, I would just like, excuse me, what is going on? So yeah, and there's a lot of comments about like, actually, where's my phone? There's 14 comments. The top one says, it's like America is crying seeing what is happening in this country. And someone said the bleeding was honestly perfect. And I said, I do what I can. And I'm just gonna be honest, I didn't mean for it to be such a big thing. Because when I was painting, happy accidents, I guess, but my Posca markers, which is what I was using, was too big nib wise, and they were bleeding, and I couldn't fix it because it's all paint. So I just left it as is, and I wrote the preamble in the back. So it's kind of funny how that works, right? Water slide, super tall water slide, all the way up into the sky. Like it's one of those like childhood like freaking out kind of sort of thing. I did that, and then I have the sun in the background to cast the lighting and everything like that onto the pool. I added a few colors, and then I had the water depth. If I would have changed things, obviously with this, I wish I would have found my shuttle markers sooner, and I could have did it that way. This one is not bad. I think if I would have done this one differently, I probably would have done this like layer of light blue on top, and that's probably where I messed up. This paper also ripped because, again, like I said, it's not made to do this. Day 74 and 75. Man, look at the Tale of Two Cities in these. So this one is a didgeridoo, and this one's power lines. So the didgeridoo musical instrument, I would have changed this one by having the character is pretty much me personified in this. I would have had them sitting down playing it, but I was not confident in the way I would have drawn myself sitting down playing a didgeridoo. But it probably would have been something along the lines of like ground level, and you're sitting there with probably on either on the ground with your feet like kind of meet up in the middle, leg like up, and then the didgeridoo like super extended out playing. Probably would have been a different color because it would have been more urban. Yeah. Then the shadows. It's funny, I did the shadows and then there's no light source, so I was like, what am I doing? Day 75. I'll hold my reservation to the end, but this one, I love this one so much. Like the lighting worked. I did this one in watercolor because I actually did this one at Barnes & Nobles because I didn't bring my gouache. I only have watercolor. I said, all right, let's see how this paper is going to take. The paper did okay. It's definitely not made for it, so it was just water on a page. And it did all right. Like, it did all right. The colors were right. The colors were nice. This was beautiful. This one didn't do too well anywhere, but I really did like this one. Like, I really like this one. And to keep with the watercolor theme, I decided to go ahead and try the Olympic medals. This one, view-wise, did better, but me, quality-wise, sucked. I did not like this one. It bled. It didn't hold its colors. It was very simple, very easy. It's a cop-out, in my opinion. I Didn't like it. I would have done different metals, or I would have done at least a different way to have the metals or display, probably like stacked up on top of each other, like some coins, and have the ribbons on the bottom, like the Olympics. Yeah, this one is alright. Then like the metals aren't the same size. Like this one's smaller up front, and then this one's bigger in the back. This one's huge compared to them. I didn't like it. I know I forgot the last few as far as like material wise. This was paint marker. This was watercolor and marker. My Tomball one, and then this one was watercolor and Tomball, and I'm pretty sure I sketched it out with that same Tomball one too. Day 77, Warrior. I love this one so much. Like, you can't tell on camera, I think. Let me see. Not really. You really can't tell. Anyways, the paint is actually on the armors metallic. So it shines very well, very nice, very detailed. And again, I'm not the most detailed artist, but I do appreciate when I can and I make something like this. I love it so much. I wish I would have add a little bit of a light blue, like some accents on the bodies and the headdress. That way to just get a little bit more, maybe accentuate the eyes a little bit more too. But I was trying to do true to the reference and nothing like super fantastical. But yeah, that's probably the only thing I would change for that. Man, day 78 and 79. Stop sign and pinata. So stop sign, I got a car of unspecified age and mix up and everything, barreling down. Hopefully they stop, hopefully they don't. I have my license plate being like a tongue-in-cheek to me. This was done with acrylic wash and marker. I wish I would have done a little bit more, like to show that this car is just hauling the road. I would have done more shadows and probably parts of the car falling off. Here I did not do the rest of the sidewalk. It looks like I actually forgot to paint that part here. Yeah, actually that was supposed to be the sidewalk. Yeah, I didn't get to do that to differentiate the road. I would have done more colors. That way the sidewalk would have been one thing and the road would have been another. I messed up on this. I didn't finish inking that. And the houses could have added a little more. I feel like I need to do more values and more tones to give these things a little bit more than just a flat thing. Because right now, a lot of these are not presenting as like actual pieces. They're more so just like flat. Alright, pinata. I had so much fun doing this one. It did not do well. Actually, how much did this do? Instagram doesn't do well at all. But YouTube did like this one. I like this one. The inking really pulled it together. I wouldn't change anything on this one. I wrote send help because I was originally going to have it where the pinata was getting like beat up and then the candy was going to be falling out. But in the end, I decided to just keep it like this. I probably would not have added this rope here. And if I did, I would have done it probably like more twine-esque with the actual details on it instead of just this random line. And I should have erased, but I don't think I wanted to erase for some reason. So yeah, pinata. Day 80 and 81. Okay, so this is a very low percentage of y'all, but if you are still watching from the very beginning and from when I mentioned it before, in my video that is dropping for the daily compilation or the drawing 61 to 80 review, I stop here after I talk about Coliseum. I don't go further, but I'm going to for this video because this is obviously 1 to 100. Sorry. So yeah, Coliseum. I did, if you can't tell by now, an homage all the way back to here, which, what day was this? 15, 16, 17, 18. Still trying to capture that lightning in the bottle for me personally. And we're about, what, shoot, 60 days, 2 months after, probably longer than that honestly, but 60 drawings after to do the red, the sketch, and the ink. I think this one did the best for this, going all the way back from, come on now, from this one to this one. And it's funny that they're both on this page. I don't know why that is, but I just love it. I thought these two were amazing. I loved this one. I loved how this one came out. I just, yes. I would not change anything except for adding some more scenery in the back, probably more colors. But since I was trying to keep it the red, black, and the white of the paper. The only thing I probably would have did was probably made the sky and a little bit of the background more notable with some hatch shading. But yeah, I like this one so much. Alright, and at the, I don't exactly know the timestamp, I'm probably going to put it here. If you skip to this point because you watched the compilation of day 61 to 80, you are about to get a 2-week in advance sneak peek of what's going to be on the shorts channel. Thank you for coming to the main channel. And if you jump this far, whenever you get time, you should go check out 1 to 81, or I guess 1 to 80 from this video. Be pretty cool. I think you would enjoy my different thoughts. But anyways, it's funny I did all this hype to build up for this. I don't have a video for this one. It's an artichoke. Because what happened was I lost the footage, not because it got corrupted or deleted. I didn't remember where I put it and I didn't name the file, and I found it legitimately like a week and a half later. I was like, oh, well, the video's already made and I already got the views. I did this with watercolor, and if we haven't learned anything, my watercolor does not do well on this paper. I mean, it's the drawing book for Pete's sake. But yeah, artichoke, it got really muddy because I didn't let it dry and the paper wasn't sitting with it. There were some purples and actually there was some pinks in here that became a little muddy, so then I tried to save face with some purple and the greens. Like the stems right here, I should have added this and inked it, and then this one I should add a little bit more highlights. Overall, like, it got the job done, but yeah, I think I actually talked longer about this one than the actual video, which is funny. Day 82 and day 83. Now, I believe for TikTok to this point, actually, yeah, up till today at the time of this recording, after this page and the next one, that's it. I haven't posted anything. So if you're coming from TikTok, you actually get to see all the drawings that I'm going to be doing. So for TikTok, I've actually posted these every single day. I probably missed like 3 days total consecutively. So this will be probably day 102, 103 maybe, if I counted correctly, since I started posting to TikTok. So thank you all from TikTok. You are amazing. Yeah. All that to say, we're on day 82 to 83. A bushel of carrots and bubbling cauldron. This one was done with paint, marker, and I sketched it out with pencil. What I would have done differently, I would have definitely did a whole wash of yellow. I would have done this truck better. I would have angled it differently. I would have gave it a little more depth. I would have added potentially some more crops, and I was trying to give everything like the yellow casting because it's, you know, the sun's setting, and I would have done more with the sun in the background and casting shadows. The bunny would have been different because the bunny's built like Johnny Bravo, and proportion size, like I didn't do this correctly, and the bunny's also just really weird looking how it looks. The bubbling cauldron, I did it with Posca markers. This one has been doing very oddly very well, and I wanted to contrast the ground and the cauldron and all the bubbling. There's some rats here if you can't tell. This was supposed to be a bottle spilt of bottle here, and I think another bottle here with lights for this cauldron, and it's bubbling green, and the casting of the moon was coming through the window here, and then the pink was just to offset it. Now what I would have did differently, if I didn't use Posca, I definitely would have done everything different. Like I would have done this small, I would have had this being gravel like inside the house, and then I would have had the moon here with like some trees, and I would have accentuated like the animal here, and I think I was going to add another one here. But for what it's worth, it's okay. Yes, crystal ball, and I'm hiding this one because I particularly was proud of this one. Crystal ball, I tried to do something with Madame Leota, and I also was trying to do like a clairvoyant without having like a super obvious who this clairvoyant is. I would have done this purple. First and foremost, I would have changed it. I would have this being like a light purple aura and then casting on to the clairvoyance. That's what I would have done, but instead I used graphite and pen and my marker, and I last grabbed some gouache paint, and I just painted the crystal ball to give it some more life. Now, one of my favorite ones, video wise, it didn't do the best, but I'll show y'all. Hi Dad Soup. The prompt was alphabet soup, and the only thing I could think of was a Goofy movie where Max and Goof were having like kind of like a whole thing, and then they fell asleep and they were drinking soup out of a can, and Goofy poured it into the cup, into the mugs, and then Hi Dad Soup happened. Ooh, this actually stuck. So this happens a lot actually, and that's usually how my pieces get ripped. Actually, this one did just rip something. Which one did it rip? Oh, that sucks. Okay, anyways. You can say they are original. I loved doing this one. I think the colors came out very well. What I have done differently? I probably would have added a little bit of markings with my marker for this one, and I probably would have added a little bit lighter colors for this, for the soup. I actually painted this one. This was with was this with acrylic? No, this is actually with Liquitex. Golden Flute acrylics actually. Wow, that really sucks that just ripped. Probably should have did tissue paper. Probably would help better. Rubber ducky and a bubble bath. So this one actually got restricted and flagged for something. I don't know why, but it was rubber ducky and a bubble bath, and YouTube did not want this one to show. And so then I fought for it, and it got cleared because it was literally a rubber duck. YouTube, that was weird. Why? And so then I posted it. Didn't do anything. I reposted it, and I think that's also what pushed me like a day off. This is a duck in a bubble bath. This is like the tub. This came from the other painting. Yep. This one was sketched out paint, and then yeah. What I would have done differently, I thought about having the tub from the side view with the rubber duck like being thrown up in the air with like bubbles falling from it, and this would have been the only thing in color. It would have been the rubber ducky, a few bubbles, and then everything was going to be like sketched out. But I'm glad I did it this way, like it gets the point across, and then it says quack. This one did not do well at all, and I thought I did amazing on it. I always do think I did amazing, and it's not that good, but it is to a degree. Red Riding Hood. You have Red sitting there on a stump in a forest with the sun casting down. I really like sunsets, even though I'm not good at doing them. What I would have did differently? Well, first and foremost, I should have done more light yellows on to get the casting. Like her leg right here is white. I just forgot to paint it, honestly. And I was trying to get it to be like, oh, she's in the sunset. The sun is casting on her. I would have done more shadowing for the stump. There are the wolf's tracks. The lunchbox should have been done differently. I probably should have done that one in like a white undercoat and then the paint on top. I think it would have did a little bit better. I was gonna draw like the eyes of the wolf in the background, but I don't know. I didn't think this one was bad. I think I may have overdone it, especially with this, or I should have did it more brown scenery and then with a little bit of light. 'Cause then I feel like it would not have detracted away from this. Flamingo. I think it went, yeah, I actually pulled my Jazza Spectra art kit out, and I did this one with my alcohol based markers and color pencil. Surprisingly, I wouldn't change this one. Like, it's a flamingo doing its thing. I probably would have added like a shrimp or krill. That's probably the only thing I would add, but everything else I thought I was pretty happy with. Maybe a little bit more sun reflection and probably some yellow on the flamingo. But now, like, I like this one. I really like this one. Day 88 and 89, Fleur de Lis, and that is the symbol. I'm not gonna lie to y'all right now, I can't recall off the top of my head. I thought it was just a spear, but it has much more cultural and significance than I am potentially giving credit to in this present moment. It is a very beautiful thing. I wish I would have made it more even. I wish I would have sketched it out more with like a ruler and stuff to make sure everything lined up. Like I would have boxed it out, lined it up. I literally just freehanded, and my freehand is not that good. These are all lopsided. The sketches are okay. I went overboard with the cross hatching. It was graphite pencil, marker, and ink. Yeah, for this one. I thought about doing it as a pattern, like having a whole bunch of them, like a sort of like I forgot the pattern brand that has all the logos. It's some brand I can't afford. Yeah, I thought about doing it like that, but in the end I just did that. Day 90 and 91. Oh, okay, so yeah, story time for 91. Noah's Ark. I got this inspiration from, I think, the Ark Encounter when I did my research. And I think there's another one, and I do apologize if I offend anyone for not knowing where these are. But giant boat. I was going to sit here and make it, I think the one where it's like the boat is in the background, all the animals are coming towards it in line. And I just thought that was super overwhelming, and I did not want to detract from the other art project that's up here that's done, and to take away from the one that's off screen. I was just I wanted to sketch it out and draw it and go from there. This is actually ink, and did I paint this one? Yeah, I did, because I prepped it with matte medium. I sketched it out, and then, yeah, I did paint this one. Okay, yeah, I did paint it. And actually now I can go up. Now that y'all saw the sneak peek of this, the prompt was lit candle. Excuse me. I had this originally as a sketch of me looking at it, and I was going to do like a whole kind of thing to the, at this point you should know what I'm about to reference to the view from the top. I was going to do it like that. Did not like how it was coming out, and I think in the short you actually see it for a split second before I just paint over the whole thing. And then I used a reference that my dad and I took of me holding a candle, and lighting is not my strong suit. A lot of these things aren't, but I did that, and I wanted to try to like fade it in a little bit more gradually. What I would have did differently, I probably would have done more details on this. I probably would have made this bigger first and foremost. Like I would have made it probably about this big. That way its focus is easier for me to paint. I would have to do less background work. So this actually was going to be a real painting that I would have did as a practice for oil painting for Slews, which is another great artist on YouTube. I was going to do his art challenge that he had. Shoot, what was this now? I think it was 2 years ago, August of 2024. Let me see. I'm going to his channel now. Videos. 2 years ago, paint. Hosted a big art contest on the internet. I think this was it. Was this it? I think it was. July 21st. Yeah, July 2024. Good job, me. Yeah, it was this. Because it was him and I think Alfie that ended up hosting it. Yep, it was a light source. So I actually was going to do that as part of that competition, and I talked myself out of it. I was afraid. I didn't do it. I had the idea about doing it, never got to it. This is the idea I had, and I might get to it someday. I don't know. But I wanted to attempt to do an oil painting, and I had a thought to paint myself every single day, learning how to do that kind of stuff. That's where this inspiration for this piece came up, and it's crazy to think that that came up almost 2 years, like a year and a half. Wow. Day 92 and day 93. How did these do? These did okay. This one did better. I lost footage on this one. And this one I truly lost it. I looked everywhere. I checked my like recently deleted. I think I overwrote this one with another file of the same name. but it was hourglass. So I was like, oh, I could do like a sand glass. And then I was like, oh wait, I can do like an hourglass figure, but have it as an hourglass. So her dress is actually sand coming down. And then I kept these to support the sand glass, but these are technically her arms, because if you look right here, these are like her hands, like sitting like this and then like this. And of course, then I added the thighs, and then I had like the cleavage up here, and then like a necklace, and then undescriptive face. I would have added hair. I would have added the hair flowing, and yeah. Again, you see how the red and the black was going on. Sketch It Out had the red, and then I had the markers. 3 blind mice. Ah, that does suck. I did rip that, huh? I really did. Wow, that sucks. This one, okay. I wanted to do a different take of 3 blind mice. I thought about drawing like the 3 blind mice from Shrek. But then I was like, well, what if I have 3 blind mice, but it's one mouse that's in 3 different parts of their life? And then I figured to incorporate music. So I had baby, young adult, and then older wise mouse. And then I wrote like a whole story that I ended up having in the background. I wrote it one way, and then I ended up adding words to it after. Yeah. And so then I ended up telling a whole story here. Honesty time. I wrote the story. I should have kept it as it was, but I realized it was going away from the 3 blind mice aspect, and I was doing more towards music, because I said music is for the soul to see. When I changed the narrative by adding this, and I did all this in ink, like I sketched it out and then I did it all in ink, I couldn't undo it. So I was like, oh, well, hopefully whatever I write makes sense, because I want to fill out the page. Yeah, it was something all right. And yes, honeycomb. This was graphite pencil, color pencil, and a very dying marker. This one was okay. This one, I was kind of traumatized, because this was from when my fiance and I read this book called The Bees, and I'm not going to go too far into it. I made the whole video about it, but yeah, honeycombs. What I have done differently, honestly, for any of these 3 pieces, this one, I guess the hair, this one, I probably would have kept it the original story. This one, I thought about having the bear with the hook on the honeycomb, eating the honeycomb. That's probably the only thing I would have did differently there. Now for my favorite piece that I've done in the past month or so, that I thought was going to do better traction wise overall. This is day 93, and it's compass. If you are a fan of Gravity Falls, you may have noticed this immediately. I had a compass originally, side profile, and I was going to draw like a direction, and that's what it started off with. And then I looked and I said, wait, what if you don't know where you're going? And then it just started spawning off the idea of the weather vane that's on top of the mystery shack of WHAT, what? So then I was like, oh, I could do that. And I was like, oh, well, what if I do, because, you know, Bill's always watching, always there. So I was like, oh, let me draw Bill's cipher. And that's where this question mark came from, was the weather vane, to have that connected. And then I did Bill's cipher, and I was like, oh, bet. And then, if you don't know, at the end of, well, within the show itself, and at the end of each episode, at the end of the credits, there's a quick pop-up of a code that you decipher. So there's, not to spoil anything, but there's a certain decoder you need to do it. And so I wrote right here where it says see you next summer in one of the code ciphers. So yeah, I did that. I like that one. This was one of my favorites. This was done in a sketch, and then matte medium, of course, to seal it and stuff like that. Then after that, I ended up doing it in acrylic, and then it was liquid text. It was golden fluid liquid text, or golden fluid acrylic. Sorry, I keep saying liquid text because that's the paint I used for the longest time. And then I used my Tomball ink. And yeah, this one actually did really well now that I'm looking at it. Holy cow. Yeah, 101 likes. That's one of my highest liked ones. Wow, that's crazy. Wow, did I not? Oh, okay. Wow. So the time that this video gets finished, the shorts that are going to be posted, actually, wow, you guys are going to get a sneak peek. Maybe. Okay. Day 94, 95. This was comment. So one of my characters that I've drawn now for the past is 2026. 16 years. That's not right. 14 years. 14, 13 years is this character here. He's a wanderer, and that's a whole other thing, whole another time. But watching the comment, this is an ode, an homage, a thank you to the Calvin and Hobbes comic. If you don't know who Calvin and Hobbes is, you should look it up. It's a beautiful comic, very well done. But there's a particular one where they're outside, looking up at the stars, looking up at the sky, and it's one of my favorites. And so I was like, oh, well, what if I do a similar vibe? So this is paint, marker, and graphite, and this is actually blacklight paint right here at the bottom. So I ended up drawing that, had the shadow cast and stuff like that, and looking up at the comment, looking at the stars. I love this one so much. It's funny because YouTube was like, hey, what's going on with the hands? I messed up because I was just so happy to do this. So then I tried to cover it up with the shading, but no, I messed up the thumbs. I could have said, oh, well, you know, they're not really, it's not a human, so like it doesn't really matter how the thumbs are, but no, I messed that one up. I really messed it up. Snow Globe, day 97. This one is for the Cartoon Network employee/client globe. If I ever find this, I will purchase it no matter what. This is a globe that has a few Cartoon Network characters, and depending on which angle you look at, it has Ed from Ed and Eddie, Blue from Foster Home for Imaginary Friends, Ben from Ben 10, Jake from My Gym Partners with Monkey, and Buttercup from Powerpuff Girls. I almost messed her name up like 3 different times. And then I think it had Juniper Lee from the Juniper Lee show. There's a lot of characters if you rotate it, but I chose this particular angle because it was the best reference photo that I saw. I like this one. This one was sketched out, and then I used the paint markers which I had found after a very long time and did that one. Would I have done either one of these differently? This one, probably just fixed the hand. I thought about coloring this character, but I said I'll keep it like this as an homage to Calvin and Hobbes. Maybe I would have done him, but then everything else would have been white, and that would have been weird. This, no. If I added too much details, it felt like it would have just muddied up the whole thing. I probably would have made the CN for Cartoon Network a little bit bigger, but that was day 96 and 97. Ooh, day 98, Stonehenge. How did this one do? This one didn't do too bad. I sketched this one out. I used the markers for this one. This is graphite, ink, and markers. Sketched it out really quick, did some colors. I was happy with it. I was okay. Had more discussion about this than I thought I would in the comments. But yeah, 98, 99, my mascot, my school mascot. That was the prompt. Okay. Oh, one thing real quick. For Snow Globe, I also was because a lot of these, I don't know what these are. I see them the day I do them. When I say I flipped through when I first got it, I literally did one of these numbers. I can't do it because this is pinched, but I literally went like this. And I was like, okay, cool. That was over 3 years ago. The reason why I was so hesitant for doing Snow Globe was because I had this Snow Globe for the carousel. Way back when. Anyways, your school mascot. My school's mascot was a gray wolf. It bugged me when I was working on this one, and it bugs me now. I personally think I did the anatomy terrible. I think I did the ears too pointed and too far up. They should have been over a little bit more. It looks more like a fox than it looks like a wolf. The mouth was done wrong. Probably needed to be a little bit. I don't know what's wrong with it. It's something with the face. I don't like it. It's okay. I really don't like this. I really don't like it. But it's okay. It's done. I would have redone this one. I personally would have redone this one. And now for number 100, the one that everyone, including myself, is waiting for. I'm hiding prompt 101 because I need to just hide it, so I'm gonna do one of these numbers. Prompt number 100 is a racetrack. As you can see, it's blank, but I'm going to end up doing this, and then I'll work on this, and I'll put it at the end once I finish this. So once I knock this out, I will see y'all in the video, very short, especially in the grand scheme of how long this video is, and then we'll have racetrack done. So yeah, I'll see y'all shortly. Hello, I am back real quick. Day 100 is right here next to me. Hopefully you enjoyed that, and hopefully you enjoyed the little segment of it. I will show y'all as a thank you for watching and waiting for day 100. I actually did 101 because by the time this video gets posted, I will have been day 100, 101, and 102 will be coming out. Yes, so here's 100 and 101. Look at that. The prompt was racetrack and then megaphone. So I'm really jazzed how these came out. This gives me vibes of the old racetrack car carpet thing that it seemed to be very popular in the 90s and early 2000s. And then megaphone, I just thought that was super nice, really cool. And yeah, I'll give my thoughts and my little history blurb and stuff like that. But for now, thank you so much for watching this video. And how long is this video? Oh, if you include all my little cuts and segments and stuff like that, I think we're well over an hour and a half, which makes this my longest running video on my channel, I believe, to date. And this is a very minimally edited video, so thank you so much for watching. And if you did check out the other channels or the compilation of the other videos, or just even making it this far, I truly thank you so much, and I cannot thank y'all enough. Yeah, as far as the next videos that are in the pipeline, I promise you won't see video drawing this whole thing for part 2, which is going to be at the conclusion of the book, of this entire thing, of 200. So when I come back with this, this will all be done. You are looking at an estimated time frame of all of March, April, May, June. I think we will be in the middle of June, maybe like the 4th of July, that we will have all 200 drawings done, drawing paintings and everything like that. And oh, I also got to do the statistics for y'all. So give me 1 second and I will input all of the stuff real quick. All right, so we did the tally right here, and there are, and I put a little question mark because there were some that I was questioning whether or not it would qualify. So for paintings, there were 35, 33 were in question, which goes back and forth, 65 drawings, 67, because that question mark. Inking, there was 10, 20, 30, 40, 56 with ink, 10, 20, 32 pencil, and 10, 15, 17 with marker in it. But then oil pastels are the one that I didn't know whether I could put it as drawing or as a painting. So that's why it fluctuates. But anyways, over a third of them are paintings, and well, it's either a third are painting and 2/3 are drawings. Either way, that is the result. So out of 100, technically 101, we have 2/3 of this drawing and 1/3 of it painting. So who knows what's going to happen with the rest of the 100 pages. Maybe it'll balance it out. Maybe subconsciously I'll end up having more paintings than drawings because now I want to paint more. That way I get my confidence up and everything like that. Or maybe I'll just stick to drawings. Who knows? But my name is Agent Double Sonic. Thank you so much for watching this almost feature film of 200 drawing prompts. So peace, love, and hot sauce, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Thank you so much for watching.